Hey mad scientists, it's Miss Sarah here. Today I'm in the library and we're going to talk about parachutes. Yes, parachutes. What's a parachute? I'm sure you think of little army guys. Maybe you have some army guy toys that have like plastic parachutes and it keeps them from just falling straight down. They kind of glide down. So it makes it so that people or supplies can drop from really high places and come down slowly so they don't get hurt. Parachute literally means para, from the Greek against, and shoot, which means fall. So against the fall. So the parachute, the top part, you think of those big balloony, we'll show you some pictures too. They're actually the air, it's catching air underneath. And that is helping to go against the fall. So 100 years ago was when the first person used a parachute coming out of an airplane, but 1470, Leonardo da Vinci created this idea of a parachute. Now, he didn't actually get to do it, but he had lots of drawings and lots of inventions. So we're going to try a design like this today. So the first inventor to actually come up with an actual parachute and test it out was a guy named Lenormand. And he invented the La Parachute. And what he used was 2 open umbrellas, kind of like an umbrella you'd use in the rain. And he used 2 of those to help guide his way down. A little bit later, a guy named Guérin, who had been in prison, had been dreaming about parachutes because he was thinking about a way to escape from a high window. He didn't escape, but he was released from prison and kept thinking about the parachute and how he might use it and how he might design one. So what he did in 1797 is he went up in like a hot air balloon type thing, cut himself away from the balloon, and then used a parachute that he designed to drift gently down to the ground. So over the years after that, parachutes got refined and made lighter, made more efficient, until 100 years ago when we started using them to jump out of planes. You could attach a parachute to supplies or literature or information and drop it into remote areas. Once silk started being used, silk is really lightweight, and it made a huge difference in how efficient parachutes were. So we're going to try to make some parachutes using a bunch of different types of materials. We're going to use some paper, we're going to use some plastic, and you might have some fabric at home you'd want to try, or some other materials you might want to try. But in your kit today, I'll show you how to put together a couple different parachutes and we can test them out.
All right, guys, in your kit today, you will have 2 pieces of string, 2 small 2x2 Lego blocks, a cup, some tape, paper, actually 2 kinds of paper. If you got more than 1 kit, you may only have 1 roll of tape. I was getting a little bit low on tape. So these are all the things you'll need to test out your parachute. So the Lego blocks are going to be your parachute person. They're going to be the weight on the bottom. So I thought it was kind of a neat idea. You can run your strings between the bricks. You can make it like a cross shape like this, like an X. You could run them both going the same way, and then you just snap another Lego on top and holds them in place, and then you can tie or tape the end of your strings onto your parachute material. So first I'm going to take that curled up piece that you have in there. It's a little bit heavier weight cardstock, and I want to tape each string to a different corner. Now, if it seems like your strings are not quite all the same length, or it's not hanging quite right, you can take your Lego off and adjust your strings and then snap your Lego back on so that it will hang the right way. Now it's time to test our first parachute out. Let's toss it up in the air, and it kind of comes down hard. What if I toss it up a little more gracefully? Well, no, I would not want to be an actual person having to rely on this parachute. Let's see, one more time. Now, if we toss it just the right, then we're able to catch the air and get a slightly better landing. So that first parachute looks a little bit like this flying man created by Fausto Veranzio. This was a drawing and idea that he had about 150 years after Da Vinci. Let's check out this replica of a drawing of Da Vinci's idea. It looks kind of like a pyramid, huh? Let's check out our paper and see if we can make a similar kind of shape. So in your packet, you will have a larger piece of paper that is already folded up into a whole bunch of triangles. So if we open this back up, we'll be able to see the top crease and the sides coming in, but we want to keep it from folding back out flat. So we're going to see if maybe we can tape the sides a little bit. So I'm going to pinch 2 of these sides together and put a little bit of tape on them, so it can make a structure that looks a little bit more pyramid-like. Now I want to tape my Lego parachute guy onto each corner, just like that, and then let him fall off the table. Now let's go test him out on the library floor and see how this works. Here you can see a little bit better look of what the canopy, that's what the top of the parachute is called. Now it keeps flipping over onto the top, and I only have 2 Legos on the bottom. What would happen if I put on more weight and more Legos? I bet you might have some Legos at home. Wow, look what adding some more weight to the bottom does. It makes that canopy work a lot better for that. Check out these Army Daredevils doing parachute jumps 100 years ago. Let's see if we can make a slightly more modern design. Thanks Target for supplying the library with a whole bunch of Target bags for our curbside service and to make parachutes with. So we are going to cut out, I just cut out right around that Target sign on one of the bags. You don't even have to open the bag up. You can cut right through both layers and you will come up with a rectangle. Now you can lay your Lego parachuter on top right in the middle and then tape down all the different lengths of string to each corner. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's test it out. I'm so excited. Oh, beautiful. And look at that Target sign. It looks fantastic. Wow. So we can see that lightweight plastic definitely catches the air and slows down our cargo as it comes down to the ground. Well, that's in slow motion, but you get the idea. What do you guys think will happen if we try to use this cup as our parachute? Yeah, I don't think it's going to go well, but it's a really cute little cup, and you can try it out, or you can maybe try it as a holder for the Legos. Maybe you can put some more cargo in and flip it around and make that the bottom portion. So I'm just taping each one of the 4 strings onto this cup. 1, 2, 3, let's test it. Bam. That looked like it hurt. I hope you guys enjoy experimenting with parachutes. I got a lot of this information and images from Popular Mechanics online. I hope you guys come up with some other ideas for your parachutes and have fun experimenting, creating, and drawing out some ideas. I'll see you next time, mad scientists.